Fall camp, fall practice is starting for the Georgia Bulldogs. College football is back, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot be more excited to get back into the season. We're going to hear from Kirby Smart on Wednesday. This video should be dropping tonight. This should be dropping on Tuesday night. So you've got a couple days to look at this before spring practice really starts. I have a few burning questions that I know that if they haven't already figured out answering, Georgia needs to figure this out. They want to win another national championship, right? That's the goal. They've won 2 in a row. They know the blueprint. Different roster, slightly different coaching staff. Kirby Smart knows what he's doing, but there are some burning questions for this program as the season kicks off, right? Look, we're in this position last year where Georgia was coming off of a national championship. They were coming off of an off season where they lost a lot of players, a lot of really important players to their roster, right? Lost a coordinator, right? Defensive coordinator in Dan Lanning. And so you have the exact same situation heading into 2023. I say exact same. That is a really bad way to put this. It is not the exact same situation. It is a new situation, but one that they're familiar with, right? They've been through all of these difficult changes, and now you've got a new offensive coordinator this time. You head into 2023 with a new offensive coordinator. Last year, you had a different situation. You headed into a situation where you lose Dan Lanning and then Glenn Schumann and Will Muschamp, their co-defensive coordinators all of a sudden. Glenn Schumann, for the most part, I think he's kind of the main defensive coordinator, and I know Will Muschamp, his role is different, and it's harder to describe his role, but he's one of the defensive coordinators. So no Stetson Bennett, no Todd Monken, new system maybe, new players. Can Georgia get it done again? Can they answer these questions? Ryan Curley from Dawg Post. I'll try to answer them a little bit. Links are down below. I did not mean to shake the camera. Links are down below for Double Dogs, Dogstruction, the preview magazine for this year. Any memorabilia we have, it's in the Shopify. The link is down below for that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to be updating you guys on as far as that goes. Dean's got a pretty good offer going on as far as if you get Double Dogs, what you get out of it right now. Did you already buy the preview magazine? Are you not a subscriber? I believe if you get Double Dogs right now, I believe you get September free. Double check Dean's promo. I don't want to mess that up. Look, I wrote this article on Dawg Post, making sure you're going to this. I'm going to try to screen share a little bit. Yes, UGA football must answer these burning questions during fall practice. So you can go check that out on dawgpost.com. That is a premium article. I can't share everything with you on here, but look, I've got 4 questions that I for sure want to talk about. Where is this quarterback battle at? Where's this quarterback battle at? All right, the eye test, the reporting, it tells us Carson Beck's in the lead. Kirby Smart tells us Carson Beck's in the lead, right? He doesn't usually give us all these nuggets, but Smart said he's certainly the leader, but it hasn't done enough to say he's the starter. That's what Kirby Smart said about Carson Beck. Carson Beck looked good at G-Day. Carson Beck's been the quarterback that's been in the room the longest out of this group. And Carson Beck, I just think he's got the best arm out of those 3. I just think that's where we're at. I think he's the best quarterback in current time. And I think that's just the way it's going to be. A question that I've already discussed a little bit that goes in conjunction with that is, what's the offense going to look like with Mike Bobo at this helm? When he's in charge of this thing. And it goes in conjunction with Carson Beck. It goes in conjunction with what is the personnel, right? It matters. And 10 years ago, I guess 11. 11 years ago. 2012 was 11 years ago. 11 years ago, Mike Bobo had Aaron Murray. He had Todd Gurley. He had guys like that when he was the offensive coordinator for Georgia. 2012 obviously is a year that gets pointed at because of how good Georgia was. They were 8 yards away from going to the national championship to play Notre Dame. That's what we're talking about. 8 yards short with Mike Bobo at the helm of having a shot at the national championship in 2012. There are all sorts of factors. This team is better than back then, and they scored 37.8 points per game. No Stetson, though. You got Carson Beck. I've been kind of on the record saying I think they're going to have to change things up a little bit with Carson Beck, and that is the case. He is not as mobile as Stetson Bennett. He's not as fast. He's not as shifty. Not a lot of quarterbacks are. Not a lot of quarterbacks are as athletic as Stetson Bennett, right? Hate to say that. The 5'10 former walk-on is more athletic than your quarterback, right? He is. He's more athletic than most quarterbacks. Is he more athletic than people like Justin Fields? Or is he more athletic than Trevor Lawrence? No, probably not, right? But that's not the point of this. Carson Beck's athletic. I think he can execute a lot of the stuff Stetson could, maybe not some of those things. Kenny McIntosh being gone matters to me. That matters to me. The receiving threat out of the backfield matters in modern day football. It's the best way to put it. Is there a game wrecker on the defensive line? Right? I think that Micah Williams has that potential. I think Nazir Stackhouse has the potential. I think all those guys have that potential. It's just a matter. Look, Georgia recruits a bunch of 4- and 5-star guys, right? Some no stars, some 3 stars. They shine every once in a while. Lad McConkey, Javon Bullard, Stetson Bennett, right? But those 4- and 5-stars, you rely on them to be really good football players. Who's going to step up and be a game wrecker on the defensive line? Is anyone going to step up and be a game wrecker on the defensive line? They've had one the last few years. They've had many the last few years. Well, guess what? They're all in the NFL. Are you going to be a game wrecker, Michael Williams? Are you going to be a game wrecker, Zion Logue, Nazir Stackhouse, Warren Brinson, Jamal Walthour? Is that going to happen? They played well without Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, but will they do that for the duration of a season? Who's going to step up next? You see it in college football. You churn out these players. Who's going to step up next? Jalen Carter stepped up as a superstar after they left. Will that happen again? He was a superstar already. Don't get me wrong. He just wasn't on the field as much, right? But will that happen in 2023 for Georgia? Most important question, in my opinion. Most important question. And this is not just a question that Georgia's going to have to ask, that every single player and every single person on the staff is going to have to ask themselves this every day. How bad do you want it? How bad does this version of the Georgia Bulldogs want it? Do they want to win a national championship as bad as 2021 and 2022? Right? Are you connected? Are you elite or are you not? Are you eating off the floor? Are you going by all of these mottos and are you doing it every day? The process gets boring sometimes. I can't sit here and honestly tell you I love doing this every single day. These videos. I love it. It's a big part of my job. I love the job in general, right? But sometimes I don't want to do these videos. Sometimes I just want to go do something else. You know what I mean? And is it a super time-consuming thing to do these videos? Not necessarily, but I don't always want to do it. Are you going to always want to do the little things? Brock Bowers. Probably. Kamari Lassiter, Cedric Van Pran. Is Kirby Smart going to do all of the little things that he did in the last 2 years that were necessary to build a championship program? He's the one I'm least worried about as far as that goes. Is Carson Beck going to do all of the little things, right? Waking up at the proper time, eating at the right time, studying tape at the right time. A lot of football players do this, but are they going to do every little thing? Are they going to be connected and be just the absolute juggernaut they were the last 2 years? They know the process, but do you want it the way you did the last 2 years, right? There is a chance that there are a handful of players on Georgia's roster who have an opportunity, and we're talking about players from the 2021 class, recruiting, have an opportunity to win 3 straight national championships in 3 years and go to the NFL. Brock Bowers being one of them. And obviously, as an impact player, he would be your main guy out of that group. But guys like Smile Mondon, Jamon Dumas-Johnson, right? Who are some other 2021 guys? I'm not thinking of them off the top of my head, but they have an opportunity to go 1, 2, 3, and be out in 3 years with 3 national championships, right? There's nobody that can say that, right? When was the Minnesota one? Minnesota. Back to back. When did that happen? It was not Minnesota? Doesn't matter. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Links are down below. That's it.